Hey guys, the third round of Delta Math here is all about features of a graph. And so there's some keywords that we're going to talk about, and then we'll talk about kind of what we're looking for in each one. So the first thing it says is the degree of f of x, and then it asks us to pick. And when we pick, it's either odd or even. So remember, odd means opposite. Odd, opposite. They sound similar. Even means the same. Okay, so opposite meaning that the arrows are going in two different directions. So that, whoops, was the exact same graph. That would be odd, where we have arrows going opposite ways. Even means they're going the same way. They're up, up, or down, down. So this one, I see one going up and one going down. And so I'm going to say this is odd because they're going opposite ways. The next thing is the leading coefficient. The leading coefficient is determined by the right-hand side arrow. So we're going to just look at the arrow on the right. And we're going to decide if the arrow is going up, it's positive, right? And if the arrow is going down, it's negative. So I'm going to say this graph is negative because the right-hand side is being pulled down. Okay, the next thing Delta Math asks you is about the real zeros. And remember, zeros are just all about the x-axis. Okay, so when I look at this one, there's 1, 2, 3 places where we are interacting with the x-axis. So I'm going to go in this box and I'm going to put 3. Okay, and then the last thing here is a little bit different, so we're going to take a second to talk about that. This one says extreme. Okay, so when we talk about extremes, whoa, that's not what we want. That was a little crazy. So was that. There we go. Extremes. Okay, we are talking about either maximums, which is like a mountain on our graph, or minimums, which is like a valley for our graph. Okay, so in this particular graph, it's not asking about maximums or minimums. It's asking about extremes all together, which means we have to say maximum, minimums, and give the total. Okay, so here we go. So I'm looking at my graph. Arrow doesn't count. This right here is, it's hard to tell, but there's a little bit of a minimum because we're at the bottom of the valley. Then we have a mountain right here. And I know it's not, it doesn't look like a mountain like Mount Everest, but it does look like a mountain because it's the highest part in its cute little area. Then we come back down here. We've got a minimum at that flat spot. There's a good looking mountain. And I see a total of 4 extremes. Okay, so I'm going to get that typed in. And then I'm going to submit my answer. Okay, let's do another one so that you kind of get another round of it. Here we go. We've got some things that stuck around and we've got some things that disappeared. So I'm going to clear the whole board. Okay, the degree. First thing up is the degree of f of x. Remember, it's either odd or even. Both of these arrows, both arrows pointed down. Since both of them are pointed down, which is kind of a bummer, they're going the same way, and this graph is even. Then we come over here, and we're looking at the leading coefficient. And we only care about the right arrow, the arrow on the right for leading coefficient. This right side arrow is being pulled down, so we are thinking negative thoughts. There are some real zeros. Let's see what we've got here. We've got one place right here, We've got one place right here. So I'm going to say we have 2 real zeros. And then, again, it says just extremes all together. So I'm looking for mountains, where the graph comes up and turns and goes back down. I'm looking for valleys, where it goes down, turns, comes back up. Right? This would be max. This would be min. The one thing is we do not care about wiggles. Do not care if there's a wiggle. And this graph has a wiggle. And I don't really care about the wiggle. I'm going to skip over the wiggle and pretend it didn't exist. I do, however, care about this beautiful mountaintop. I'm going to say there's one relative extreme. Now, I'm not going to walk you through this entire one again, but I want to just show you one piece of it. This one just says maximum, which means just the tops of the mountains. So remember, don't care about a wiggle. But I have a mountain here, and I have a mountain here. And so I have 2 relative maximum values. So just something to be mindful of. You do have to read that one at the end. If you're getting it wrong, that's a possible place to check. Otherwise, remember, if you are stuck, send screenshots or send questions. We would love to help you.